For this model, I'm going to try something a little bit different, that I'm only going to use a pure undiluted ink over a white base coat to get the coloration of my model. So to start with, I apply a pre-highlight using Media ComArt Opaque White over the entire model. For this pre-highlight, I make sure to hit all of the areas of the model that would get the most direct sunlight, such as the tops of the knees, the edges of the legs, tops of the shoulder pads, things like that. I also spray a line of white on the inner legs of the Marine to represent light that's bouncing up off the ground and reflecting back onto the lower leg pieces. As you can see here, I built up multiple layers of this white in order to get the purest, brightest white at the highest points of the armor to really push the contrast of the model and build up nice volumes. Next, I apply the main blue of the armor by spraying on a single layer of undiluted Rowney Prussian blue. This is a super saturated blue that applies nicely through an airbrush and gives the model a very bright pop of color that is eye-catching and looks great. Because this ink is fairly transparent though, all of the volumes and highlights we built up with the white previously will still show through, and you'll be left with a high contrast model that is nicely highlighted with very little work to do so. I wanted to push the contrast a little bit deeper, so I applied a couple more targeted shades of this blue ink just to the lowest points of the armor that were previously left black before. Because this Prussian blue ink is transparent, additional layers will actually darken the color of the model, which is great for shading like I'm doing here. At this point, the blue is looking pretty good. You can absolutely leave it at this step if you wanted to. I wanted to keep pushing the contrast a little bit more though, so I mixed up some white ink with the Prussian blue ink and applied another general highlight over the Marine. Now, y'all may have noticed that the way I paint my models is kind of a back and forth between highlights and shadows, where I'll first start with a highlight and then dial it back with a glaze or with a thinner paint, and repeat this process until I get the color I'm happy with. And in this case, I actually pushed the model a little bit too bright with my last round of highlights. So to fix this, I mixed some Prussian blue ink with airbrush thinner at about a 50-50 ratio, and applied one more final glaze over the entire model with a thinned down ink. As I'm going to be doing an oil pin wash next, I apply a layer of gloss varnish through my airbrush to protect the paint and reduce surface tension on the model so the oil flows into the cracks and crevices more easily. I used a pre-mixed black oil wash for this model, but you can make some yourself pretty easily by just mixing some odorless mineral spirits in with some lamp black oil paint. I chose to do a pin wash on this model rather than just slapping on black oil paint as I normally do, because I felt the color scheme was already dark enough and I didn't want to darken up anymore. If you're not familiar with pin washing, all you really have to do is take a brush loaded with oil paint and gently tap it onto the recesses or nooks and crannies of the model you want the oil paint to flow into. Because of the gloss varnish we applied earlier, the oil paint will flow right off your brush and fill out the recesses pretty nicely, providing you instant shading. If you did end up getting the oil paint somewhere you didn't intend it to be though, you can always wipe it away with a foam makeup remover. After I'm happy with how the oil wash is looking, I next apply the Crimson Fist and Tactical Squad transfers on the shoulder pads. Getting transfers to sit flat on a Space Marine shoulder pad can be kind of a pain as the surface is curved and the transfers aren't really meant to go on a, curved surface. If you're running into this problem, you can always use your X-Acto knife to cut a few small slits into the transfer, which will help it lay down flat. For the titular Crimson Fist, I start off with a layer of Scale 75 Deep Red, followed up with a wash of Careburg Crimson by Games Workshop. After the shade is dried, I apply a layer of Antares Red by Scale 75. Finally, I glaze the entire fist with a 50-50 mix of Inktense Crimson and Glaze Medium. I find that an ink glaze really pushes the saturation of colors and gives a much more visually interesting appeal to the model, which is why I do this step. You can absolutely leave it off if you don't want to or don't have access to crimson ink. I next spray a layer of AK Interactive Ultra Matte Varnish over the entire model to kill all the shine of the previous steps and provide one more layer of protection. In order to provide some additional definition to the edges of the armor, I turned to one of my favorite techniques in sponge chipping to add a battle-worn look to the Marine's armor that I think fits into the grimdark aesthetic of 40k perfectly. For my first pass at chipping, I used Games Workshop Rhinox hide to represent pieces of the armor that have flaked off and are showing either a rusted underlayer or a primer layer. I have found that when sponge chipping Marines, there are certain parts of the armor that are rather hard to get with the sponge actually, such as the leg plate over the foot, and other places you can't really reach easily without sponging the paint everywhere. So I then go back in with a fine detail brush and stipple some of this Rhinox hide in those places. I then repeat the exact same process again using Scale 75 Heavy Metal. I enjoy using this brighter metal here as it shows up very nicely over the dark blue armor and provides some excellent edge definition. And more thematically, it provides a visual clue that the Marine's armor has been chipped all the way through to the metallic underlayer. The rest of the model goes pretty quickly, and I use some pretty simple techniques to paint the silver parts, the eye lenses, and the bolter. For the silver parts, all I do is paint them all with heavy metal first, wash them with known oil, and then give a light highlight with heavy metal again for things like the chest eagle to make them pop and bring back some of the luster lost by known oil. The eye lenses are then painted in a pretty standard Games Workshop technique. We paint the entire eye black, the bottom half of it with a red, in this case deep red, the bottom quarter with Antares Red, and the bottom edge of it with Mars Orange. I then added a small dot of white in the top and bottom corners of the eye to represent light glinting off the glass of the eye lens. That's pretty much it for this model, with the exception of adding him onto a muddy kind of battlefield debris base, which I'll cover in a later video. I have a couple more videos lined up for other Space Marine chapters, or 30k Legions, but I'm always interested to hear what you all would like to see me do next, so please leave a comment below on models you would love to see. I know a lot of people are interested in Eldar models, so I might do a few more of those. Besides that, I'm open to any suggestions. If you're interested in more tutorials on how to paint, I have this awesome one right here on how to paint a Howling Griffin that I'm really proud of and think you'll like too. Thanks for watching, and hobby on.